Is Namma Yatri profitable as of now?
See, unit economics wise, we are very strong.
Does that mean that you want to bring down the tech cost to 50 paisa per trip? Is that what you mean by that?
Mission 50 pies will happen.
Let's maybe start a little bit from the beginning.
So UPI, we built the BHIM app. Fortunately, Prime Minister launched it, 10 million downloads, 10 days.
Like you are like the Geo of mobility, huh?
You just need a khaki shirt and Namma Yatri app. And you can. One key thing that we did is this app is driver first.
You took over 300 trips as an auto driver.
There was one college student who forced 100 rupees on me because she was stuck in a...
Somebody might say that you don't have a brand ambassador, but you have 1 lakh brand ambassadors.
There's a driver from Gulbarga, he visited last weekend, he was saying we all used to pray the app.
If that cultural shift actually happens, then that will actually be very great.
They take a pledge saying Namma Yatri super safety, Sakat service number duty.
The behavior of a few drivers and the safety part and the reliability part that they'll come and pick it up is missing to some extent.
Yeah, things like Dashcam, etc. We are very early stage, but we are still trying to.
There was this thing which floated around that, kind of a breakup between Namma Yatri and the Autorickshaw Drivers Union.
See, sometimes news becomes viral, but maybe it's not the truth. All the truth doesn't come out.
Like 25% sounds a little bit less when hearing for the first time, right?
Multi-modal or public transport integration is one big bet.
From here, I want to go to, let's say, UB City Mall.
So public transport has to become convenient.
That could be the future of mobility in India.
That's the dream.
Do you know it's free? Subscribing to this channel is absolutely free. So give it a try, watch some videos. If you don't like them, it's free to unsubscribe as well. If you've ever used an Ola or an Uber, especially in metro cities like Bengaluru, then there is a good chance that you may have experienced things like non-availability of cabs, long waiting times, and if you are lucky enough to get a ride, then the driver just running off if you did the sin of paying online, or asking you to cancel the request on the app and traveling with the driver off platform are some of the experiences which are probably not unheard of. But do you know why drivers do that, or maybe used to do that? It's because earlier these companies used to charge anywhere between 20 to 30% commission from the drivers on each and every ride. B, if the payment was done online, then it wouldn't reach them immediately. It would take at least 15 to 20 days to reach the driver. To solve most of these problems and more came the savior Namma Yatri. With its all-new model of charging zero commissions from the drivers, the app saw great success in Bengaluru and now is rapidly growing to other cities in the country and also abroad very soon. And in this episode of the On Point podcast, we have none other than the CEO of Namma Yatri, Magizhan Selvan. Lots and lots of interesting stuff. Go watch, have fun, and hopefully learn something new. And if you are able to learn something new, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Okay, so Max, first of all, thank you so much for coming here, taking out the time on your weekend and letting go of the family time. I really appreciate it. And
no issues. Yeah, you were pretty persistent. So
thank you so much. I
you were very creative also in terms of how you were inviting.
Thank you. So Max, our podcast's name is On Point, aka the OP podcast, as you can see. So we just like jumping to the point.
Sure.
So that is what I'll do.
Sure.
I have a question. Before that, I'll ask you a couple of questions so that I can get to my original questions. I know the data is pretty public, but I could not find one number that I'd like to ask you. That right now, how many drivers are associated with Namma Yatri in a way actively, meaning that they are paying that 25 rupees subscription fee daily?
Sure. Yeah, I think in the open data you would see that
about 5 lakh is what I
5.6 lakhs drivers are enabled,
right?
Which means they can officially take a ride.
Right.
Paying drivers could be close to 1 lakh across cities.
Okay. Close to 1 lakh means I did some math before the podcast.
Yeah.
That means approximately 7.5 CR of monthly recurring revenue, if I'm not wrong. If I assume 30
No, the
days.
thing is, they all don't drive every day.
Alright.
Monthly transacting drivers would be much higher when compared to a daily or a weekly. Bunch of them are part time.
No, the calculation that I did was based on this, that daily active users are a lakh for 30 days a month.
Sure.
So 25 into 30 is 725.
Daily active users are
1 lakh.
Yeah. No, daily active won't be 1 lakh.
Okay, they will be less.
Yeah, they'll be less.
They'll be less.
Yeah.
Alright. So
Maybe
anyway,
like half of it.
Okay, somewhere between 3 to 7 CR, I can maybe say it.
Sure.
So the question was like, I'm not sure if you'd like to disclose that or not. It's up to you. Is Namma Yatri profitable as of now?
See, unit economics wise, we're very strong.
Alright.
People, we're yet to kind of, we have to scale more, right? The CM3, we're positive in certain cities where we are really big, like in Bangalore, etc.
Right.
And directionally also, we believe in having a very strong, sustainable unit economics. Tech and map costs are super low. That is, in fact, one of our innovations, right? To bring down the tech and map cost.
I think you use OpenStreetMap instead of Google Maps, according to.
Yeah, a bunch of innovations. It's not just looked at as bottom line, but for us, cost optimization itself is like a top line, because see, the whole idea itself is to provide this technology like a utility, like electricity, like water. Can it be available for the masses, for all drivers, right? At utility pricing. Like right now, internet is there, everybody is able to use at a very low price, right?
Correct.
Why should this technology be so expensive, etc.? So that's one of the premises, and because of which, first 6 months we worked only on cost in a way. Our cloud cost is, we have a Mission 50 Pies team which looks at reducing costs to
Mission what?
50 Pies per ride.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like the first step. We have something called the 3 into 80-20 rule. If you do 80-20s 3 times, you get to 99.6.
Okay.
It's just to prioritize and kind of focus on the right things, right? So the first 80-20 I would say is that Mission 50 Pies. There is scope to reduce even further.
I want to dive deep. You're saying there is 50 paise. Does that mean that you want to bring down the tech cost to 50 paisa per trip? Correct. Is that what you mean by that?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, which includes cloud, maps, and even your call, all of that. Right. So it used to be like 40 rupees when we just started.
Yeah, I think it is 1 rupee approximately.
A little less than 1 rupee right now. Yeah.
So the question was actually this only. Maybe I think you already answered some part of it, that the model that you are working on is zero commission model with a very meager subscription fee, in my opinion, in comparison to others which were before Namma Yatri charging anywhere up to 30%, if I'm not wrong, right, per ride.
Yeah.
Like, is this really sustainable? Like, do you feel have you started feeling confident on that, or are you still figuring out?
No. I mean, the reason why we even charged this 25 rupees, right? We did consult with drivers, we took their opinion, etc. Tech absolute clarity is there. Marketing is something that we're figuring out in different cities. Different cities behave in different way, because we don't do end-to-end marketing. It is almost it is very difficult to spend money like incumbents and get customers. No offers, no discounts, etc. Right? Marketing may be something that we're still figuring out. Certain things that are working are one community model where drivers themselves are promoting.
Right.
Because in Bangalore also that happened.
It's in their best interest to use them.
Correct. But in tier 2, tier 3 cities, etc., there is much more ownership because they don't have any other apps. There's a driver from Gulbarga, he visited last weekend. He was saying we all used to pray the app because it has helped us increase the livelihood, the number of rides, etc. Right? And we're very open, like government partnership. And they are promoting. It is called Odisha Yatri in Odisha. It is called Yatri Sathi in
the names are also different. Okay, so there is a different, like in a way, white labeled version with a different name of the app in different states.
Correct.
Okay, so localization you are doing state-wise as well.
Because there is some pride people attached to it. They own it. Like here, it's called Namma Yatri. So
like Namma Bengaluru.
They feel it is their own, right? And we also want it to be that way. It's not like a single brand can solve all of these problems. I think a complex problem like mobility needs, we keep saying Samaj Sarkar Bazaar, or government business society. all of them have to come together to solve a complex problem like mobility. It's not like one brand with a lot of money can just solve a problem.
Like somebody has to take the initiative, and you have took it upon yourselves to take that initiative, because in UPI also Bharat Pay was the first one to take 0% commission, and then others also followed. In mobility, I feel you were the ones to start that, and others fell in line for at least three-wheeler. I don't know if that has changed for cab or not, but for three-wheeler, I'm right, correct? So while I also related this to kind of UPI as well in some way, because earlier the charges were a lot more for other people, right? And then you brought this change. Do you think the end game could be something similar to UPI? Because you know how much how much these drivers are earning. If you control the payments somehow, I know you are not doing that right now, but if you do that, because in a way you are also a payments company, right? Just pay. So then credit could be one option. Like is there something like do you think in those directions, that what could be more ways of earning revenue without increasing the cost for driver?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it definitely has to be sustainable, right? We can't. It's neither a NGO which is not worried about profits, nor maybe only profit seeking. We're more purpose driven than profit driven, but it definitely has to be sustainable. And like I told you, unit economics is very strong. Tech wise, I can deep dive a little more also. There is absolute clarity that we can get to that 50 pies, say in another 3 to 6 months. A lot of innovative architecture, because we have a lot of lessons from UPI itself. JustPay, which is the parent company of Namma Yatri, processes about 150-175 million transactions a day, and UPI being zero MDR, the margins are very less. So to run at that scale reliably, you need to also optimize cost. There in payments, there are teams which says 1 paise per transaction kind of a stuff, right? So a lot of innovative architectures, like we don't write to database itself, because storage typically is one of the significant cost component of infrastructure. We process most of it in Redis. We write in Redis and then drain to database. There was once database down for 3 hours, and our developers were celebrating that application was just fine, right? Nothing really happened, and it is also super cost efficient. I'm
sure it must come with its own kind of limitations, but probably those limitations are not as big a problem.
It's all about trade-offs. You need to optimize cost without impacting reliability.
That's what we learn in system design, right?
Correct. And maps, good part of it is OpenStreetMaps. Fortunately, Google has also reduced the cost in India, and also especially if you're a part of ONDC, cost was significantly reduced. Otherwise, maps cost was pretty high initially. So we use a good combination of Google and OpenStreetMaps, right? And there is scope to optimize this even further. That Mission 50 Pies will happen, in the, if not in the first quarter, first half of
2025.
Yeah.
And for this to be of course very, very sustainable, the amount that you end up charging from the drivers has to be, of course, this plus. In basically what I mean is, if 25 rupees is what you are charging, then if they do 50 rides, then it is at par with your tech cost, right? So then the number.
So there is tech, there is operations, there is marketing. You need to also, we do have a call center which kind of answers queries of drivers, right? That is one part. So that operation cost is there. There is also marketing cost. There are avenues to optimize cost in all of these. We can be ruthless in optimizing the cost, which is a good engineering challenge also, right? Our engineers get excited to run software reliably at low cost. At the same time, we keep iteration speed very high. Doing all of these three is a big challenge, and it's a lot of learning for engineers. They get excited and they work on this.
Like nowadays, of course, there is a decent chunk of engineers who, along with getting good money, are also looking for good problems to solve, and this is probably a pretty great problem to solve. That you have this target that you have to achieve. Do what you will.
Correct. There's this guy Daniel Pink, I think he talks about mastery, autonomy, and purpose are the three main things that motivate people. money beyond a point doesn't, right?
Okay.
Like initially it's a botheration. Once you get to a point, I mean, you don't think about it all the time.
Can we try to
Mastery is
understand?
learning.
Yeah, mastery is like learning and becoming a master in a particular
Correct.
field.
Yeah, Just Pay and Namma Yatri both has been a place where somebody can learn. It'll be like a college only, like a university.
Okay.
And whatever you're doing is like a college project.
Alright.
It's fun working with a group of people. Interns get a lot of opportunities. In fact, interns do big things.
I think big mishaps also that they must be doing.
So
like do you probably have systems to make sure that it doesn't.
That is there. Our second value itself is enable people for 10x, and we also say take big courageous moves. At the same time, create cushion so that if you jump up high and fall, it doesn't.
Right.
So we do have such cushions, right? It's not like database access is given to everybody and things like that. So
second was autonomy. That's you said.
Autonomy. That's what. So being full stack very early, doing systems. There is no SRE team. Engineers only take care of our systems also. So front end, back end systems, all of that. It is a mono repo. It's pretty easy to set up, and everybody has all of these front end, back end, and all. There is no silos. Teams are not in silos. They kind of get.
Right.
They're present to the big picture. They act on it, etc. Right. So autonomy is the purpose. In fact, Namma Yatri, more than even Just Pay, I could day in day out I could see they'll be making a difference, right? If you talk to an auto driver, they'll say, "Hey, this is pretty used."
I think you like somebody might say that you don't have a brand ambassador, but you have 1 lakh brand ambassadors.
Yeah, that's right. And we are getting connected to that purpose. Very frequently. We want tech to be people first, then technology first. In fact, that's. We believe tech has to be empathetic. Now. For that, in fact, we bought a bunch of autos. I was driving autos.
I'll come to that. I have it in my agenda. Because since you mentioned this, I did want to talk about that. Your LinkedIn bio, if I may call it, says building tech with empathy. What does that mean in a way? How can we build tech with empathy? I know empathy is there, has to be there in a person, but how are they related to each other? It confused me a little bit. I just wanted to understand. I think you have this tagline, and it is also on your website.
Scaling empathy. I would have something like that, like scaling empathy with tech, high tech or something like that. Right? Basically, who are we building this for? Right? We're building this for in payments especially. We were building it for our own self. It was pretty easy. We could experience what we're building, and we were directly able to relate. Here, the primary users were drivers, the auto drivers, cab drivers, etc. Right? And without getting their world, without really understanding, empathy is to be the other person, or not even see the other as other. Right? You're being that person. So. And a simple logic like you build for your own self. So here, if we're building for drivers, one key thing that we did is this app is driver first and not customer first.
Not passenger first.
Correct. And obviously through drivers it will become. It's not like we're not worried about passengers. If drivers are taken care, because they would do that service, it's like good part of the work is done by the drivers only. Taking you from one place to the other, I don't know, significant part, like 95-98% is done by the drivers only. And the value also has to be attributed that way is what we felt, right? And see, this buying auto, driving and all is to really understand the world of a driver. Only then, even if you discuss with them, for instance, to discuss with me, you try to understand what Namma Yatri is, try to understand about me. Right?
That is what you are doing.
Correct. And to build for a driver, we have to be a driver ideally. But obviously we can't match their 30 years of driving, etc. But at least to get a sense. So I did some 300 trips, multiple one-day trips.
Right.
I try to get the 2,000 rupees that these guys have as a target. A lot of understanding and learning through that, right? And 15, 16 years in Bangalore, I didn't have to learn Kannada, but
But
here
for that,
to talk to drivers,
yeah.
I had to learn Kannada and talk to them so that we can get a world. Whatever drivers are sharing is an experience and not some information that you don't really, which gets filtered in translation, etc. Right? So
you have to be very empathetic and take it all in, and in a way, empathy towards drivers is what you
correct.
Meant
Empathy towards the person who's using the product.
Like to be in their shoes, and
the standard thing is more like a user research, etc. They say, but by being empathetic, we say you be that user, right? Like, if you look at that user as somebody else, I don't know how much you can build with care, with
understand.
Yeah,
I get your point. We'll touch back on this. I'll come back to the 300 rides that you have taken, and I think Vimal also took.
Vimal will initiate.
We'll come back to that. But let's maybe start a little bit from the beginning. I think you were earlier a part of Just Pay, right? Which is I think you like. I'm not sure if you're that into titles or not, but Chief Product Officer is what your role was, right? So Just Pay was like a big payments company. I think approximately 500 million, valued at approximately 500 million. If I'm not wrong, and like Namma Yatri, it would seem a bit irrelevant to anybody. I think, I don't know if you'll agree or not to you, but to an outsider. How did the inception of the idea happen? What was that insight that led you to kind of solve this problem in mobility?
In fact, Chan and I are co-founders doesn't mean that we actually found this. It was a project in Just Pay, and we had to take care of this. There is definitely a backstory to this. We've been building a bunch of reference implementations to open protocols. India Stack team, Dr. Pramod, Nandan, they all believe in creating public digital infrastructure. Those days, physical infrastructure like roads and electricity, all of that was built, which enabled innovation, which enabled economies to flourish and all of that, right? And they believe now is a time for public digital infrastructure to be built, right? Like Aadhaar was the initial thing that they all worked on, and UPI became a big success. Right. There are some tenets of these public digital infrastructure. One, it's an open and common protocol, which gives access to all players who want to be part of it, and whoever is part of it can talk to each other. Because the language is common.
Beckn, we are talking about Beckn.
Beckn. So we've been implementing, references for multiple before. So before Beckn, there was Oken for credit. Before that, there is UPI. So UPI, we built the BHIM app when I was in Just Pay.
Okay, so BHIM app
was built
Just
by
team actually work on.
Correct. The initial version, now it is, for NPCI we built, now I think different players are doing it. But BHIM was a catalyst to take UPI where it is. Demonetization happened, there was a need for building it in 2-3 weeks, and it was a phenomenon.
You were part of that team?
I was part of that team,
And how many people were working on this for 2 weeks?
It was not actually 2 weeks. It took about 4 weeks. Because it was not just the BHIM app, the backend. Even bigger was the *99 hash, because at that point they said 700 million feature phones, so we can't neglect feature phones. We have to take care of feature phones, etc. Right? So that had SMTP protocol understanding and various other things. We kind of knew the trend is more smartphone only, that only grow, but we still had to do that as well. So *99 hash. BHIM front end, back end, all of that was done in 3-4 weeks, and with a team of maybe 30-40 people, and most of them were interns also. Right, and unfortunately, Prime Minister launched it, 10 million downloads, 10 days. The analytics and all was not there. Vimal used to write grep command and take data out of it. And we would just process data out of it. And initial days were having its own hiccups. Big banks were still not enabling the system, were not getting ready. So we were in the initial phase of getting all these up and running and getting ready, right? And for a good 1 year, I think BHIM was 90% of overall UPI, 90-95% of overall UPI transactions. And it served its purpose. I think many big players came in, like Google Pay, Phone Pay. Phone Pay was already there even before BHIM.
Yeah, but like they would have added the UPI functionalities.
No.
Okay, they were
PhonePe was an
PhonePe
UPI app
only.
even before
Okay.
even
BHIM.
before BHIM. Yeah.
Then Paytm must have.
Then Paytm, was it Paytm versus UPI? Paytm became a part of UPI, right? And UPI is a big success story.
Right.
I was spoken across the world. Experience is very good. 24/7 P2P. Solved nowhere and bank-to-bank transfer. Right? It's not a wallet transfer.
Correct.
I don't think it's kind of solved anywhere in the world.
Like it's still a thing that like. It's very common, like at least in software engineers, to work in the US, Europe, and and I see my friends when we're talking, and when we ask that what is it that you miss in India. Of course, one thing that comes up is food. Second thing that they do mention is the payments infrastructure in India is like pretty great. You don't have to carry anything. Your phone is your
correct. And so many banks, so many systems, right? They all talk the UPI language, which means you can scan. Google Pay QR and Paytm, and money can go from Kotak to
HDFC.
some cooperative bank also. All of this, and all systems are seamlessly connected because the language is common. Right. So this is one of the important tenet of UPI, or all these open protocols. Second,
while we are on the UPI, I'm interested a little bit more now. I did not have this in my kind of agenda, but you were saying that earlier big banks were not. So are you saying then that when UPI started, only SBI was part of UPI, or like what did you mean by that?
No, they were just getting ready. I think different phases of getting ready.
Okay, because it must need some tech to be built on the part of the banks as well, right? To assign the UPI IDs.
Correct. And to those it's like accounts. It is not that big yet, right? It is an experimental project, or how much resources to allot to this, by when should it get ready, etc. So those are happening. Suddenly Prime Minister launched it, and it just accelerated, the readiness of all of these banks.
Like I'm just imagining that, team of like 30 people, as you're saying, many of them being interns, work for a month, and then boom, 10 million downloads in 10 days. Must have been, kind of a very insane couple of months.
Correct.
When was this? When was it launched first? If you can remind me. 2016 or?
2016 probably. Now. Almost 8 years now, right? And almost the same time, December 30 or 31st is when they.
Okay. So approximately a month and a half after demonetization, right? It was in 2016, right? November 8th.
November 8th was the demonetization.
Interesting. So let's come back. We were on this that you were already working on some open protocols with
reference implementations of open protocol. Because open protocol is a common language, but many have to talk that language first, and that has to grow to a critical mass. Otherwise, the purpose of that common language itself is not fully met. Right now, so many systems talk because it went through a phase where one success story happened, and others started talking the same language, and everybody starts talking the same language, etc. Right? So it's a there is a journey to it.
Just to simplify, when you say reference implementation of, like, for people who are not related to tech, because it's Namma Yatri, there will be much more people who will probably watch which are not related to tech. What you mean to say is that they built some technology, right, which we know is called a protocol. Then you had to build an example use case of that technology, that this is how this technology can be used to build this. Which in the case of UPI was that BHIM UPI app, which enabled peer-to-peer kind of money transfer in a very easy way. Is that a
like say Google builds Google Pixel, or
Google Pixel,
to show what probably Android can do or something like that, right? Like maybe that's an example, right? Like you build not to make that the biggest probably. But to show that what's possible through an open protocol like UPI. So
let's come back now. So you were continuing.
Basically these reference implementations we were building, and we built one for credit which is called GEM Sahai. That was to get loans digitally. Then there was a need to build a reference implementation for Beckn protocol.
Before that, GEM Sahai also will tap maybe 5 minutes. So GEM Sahai was to get like peer-to-peer loans.
No. That was to get loans for suppliers to government e-marketplace. There's GEM.
Okay.
So they were suppliers to GEM, and they'll get invoice-based loans.
Okay.
Because typically the payments are not immediate.
Okay.
They supply, and they need some loan for their workflow, cash flow. For the cash flow to be sound, etc.
Something related to that. Something.
So they give the invoices, they give your bank statements, etc., and they get a fully digital loan.
All right. So in a way that they have to just repay the amount for the supplies that they've gotten within a 90-day period or
90 days, sometimes more.
Sometimes 180 days or.
Correct.
I think credit cycle is the term that is.
Credit cycle. Yeah. So we did a reference implementation. For this protocol called OCEN, that is Open Credit Enablement.
Okay.
And when this Beckn,
what is the full form of Beckn?
Beckn, I don't think there is a full form. Beckn means to call.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah,
so Beckn is an English word or whatever word?
Beckn. B-E-C-K-O-N. Beckn means to call. I think O was taken away in this Beckn, and I don't think there is a full form for Beckn. Beckn protocol was created for mobility, and we did a reference implementation called Yatri in Kochi. And this was tech, we took care. And Beckn team worked with Federation, like Union of Unions in Kochi, and this was doing about 1,000 rides a day, and COVID happened, etc. Then some auto drivers in Bangalore actually reached out, figured out, hey, this app is not working, hey, this is nice, we would also like to try, etc. And they figured out it is Just Pay, and they reached out. And because Bangalore, we thought we'll do end-to-end, not just tech. That's when we bought autos. We tried to understand it, go deeper and all of that. That's the backstory.
Okay. And this is which year?
This is 2022.
I think 2022 second half, if I'm not wrong. That's when they started, right?
Correct.
So it was in a way a side project to build a reference for the Beckn protocol, as you were already doing for certain other protocols as well. Correct. Two of the examples that you mentioned were BHIM UPI and Gen Sahay. But then this is the one that in which you got an inbound request from, I think, Ardu, if I'm not, I don't know if that was the union that reached out.
Ardu, there was Rudramurthy Pattabi, these guys were there as a part of that, and there was a person called Satya. They were a trio. They reached out.
And then probably working together, understanding their pain points, and you also being part of that thing that you will drive a lot of rides, and then this happened. All right. Understood. So, while we were on the subject of Beckn protocol or like ONDC, it is very, like, I hear this often, and it is mentioned on the app as well. I think backed by Just Pay and part of ONDC network when you open the app, right? And Namma Yatri is seen as one of the biggest success stories of ONDC. Beckn protocol is not something which people I think know of. ONDC is what the word is the word that.
No, ONDC is to institutionalize Beckn protocol. Pramod had an insight that hey, this is not limited to mobility. While it was initially created for mobility, this seems to be applicable for any transaction, right? Any digital commerce. So the domains were extended to food delivery, grocery delivery, logistics, and all of that. So it's more abstract. Beckn protocol has things like search, which is for the discovery phase, confirm, etc. Search, init, confirm, update, track, these kind of APIs, right? Which are more generic, abstract, which could apply to any transaction. So, and when it was institutionalized, ONDC is a Section 8 company set up in collaboration with government, right? And they started promoting commerce first, right?
Like ONDC is open network of digital
commerce. And we joined ONDC a little later. But the underlying protocol is all the same. ONDC also uses the core part as Beckn protocol. On top of it, they have added some value.
What does it mean? Like, for example, like I'll tell you my understanding, right? When somebody says that we are a part of the ONDC network, is it like, let's say there is a AI tool which in the backend is using GPT API, then maybe we'll say that they have built a wrapper on top of GPT, right? Sure. Is it similar to, like, is it okay to say that somebody in their business, if they are using the APIs that you are saying that are there in ONDC, like I think you said confirm, you said track,
Yeah.
the APIs that I've built to make certain features of a digital commerce platform easy. If somebody is using those APIs, then they'll be called part of ONDC. Is that so?
Yeah, so ONDC has a registry gateway and these API spec. When you're a part of that registry, once you comply to talking to these APIs, they also add you to this registry and gateway. And say you're starting an app which is talking this language.
Okay.
Then you can actually search and you can get rides from Namma Yatri.
Okay.
That's how Redbus. If you book a ride in Redbus, you can actually get an Namma Yatri.
Yeah, but Redbus is not part of ONDC network per se, but
Redbus auto booking is
that particular that particular feature is built in a way that they speak this language.
Correct.
So I kind of understood, like of course understood is a very strong word, not at all understood, but kind of on a very 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 high level got it that what Beckn protocol is and what ONDC is. Like was it like would you say that they were like very big contributors to where Namma Yatri is today? In a way, if these did not exist, I know then the side project wouldn't have happened, Namma Yatri wouldn't have happened. Keeping that part aside, like let's say you still built Namma Yatri, like was it possible to do it with the cost that you are doing it, or it would have been very tough? Is my question is.
I mean, the ethos, right? Definitely, the inspiration, ethos. How should this be built? How open should it be? It's not like here we are trying to do everything. The openness to collaborate with multiple systems, multiple players. All of that is for sure a contribution by Beckn and ONDC, right? But some of the things on deeper understanding of driver, we should be people first, we should optimize cost. Those we had to innovate on top of that. Mobility only has gone extreme, like zero commission, right? Like other commerce and all are still low commission only. Better than say the existing closed loop players, but they're still charging 10%, etc., which we felt is not going to make a significant shift. This is extreme, right? We're saying, we'll just not collect payments. We'll not even have payments in the customer app. We'll enable fully transparent direct payment and optimize the cost as low as possible.
This is something that was Namma Yatri's
that was Namma Yatri's contribution.
Irrelevant to the protocol.
Correct. And protocol definitely helps in, say, bringing multiple systems. Now you can book metro tickets in Chennai, Kochi, Delhi is also opening up, Bengaluru is opening up. Later, we are building a multi-modal on top of that. Place A to B, if you want to go, it will say go in a metro and then take an auto and go. And the moment you get out of the metro, auto might be waiting for you. These things can be built on top of ONDC just bringing in multiple players. Like Redbus is allowing you to book. There can be more such apps in future who can play the customer side, and we're open to all of that. In fact, initially we were hoping this could happen much faster, but all of these take time. But we are definitely open, right? Like any big app who already has a customer base, who need not spend a lot of money to have customers just download an app. They can open up this use case, or they can create a new app also, and through that you can book Namma Yatri.
Understood. So like while we are on the subject of big apps, that was my kind of going to be next question, that some of the other players like Uber is I think valued at more than $100 billion. Ola is at $4-5 billion, and Namma Yatri was like a side project, if I may have to call it. Can I call it that or not?
It started like that.
Like a college project, like as you were saying, right?
I mean, company itself like that only. Build most of the stuff is college projects. Yeah.
And you have also said this in one of your, I think, speeches, that Namma Yatri app is something which is similar to Ola, Uber, Rapido in terms of functionality, but different in terms of approach, right?
Yeah.
So one, I would like you to kind of expand a little bit on that. Two, maybe if you can talk about a few things that you think that they are able to do because of this high capital that they have, apart from marketing is the obvious one, and vice versa, some things that you can do better due to the small size and they cannot.
Sure, yeah. I think, see, typically we don't like to compete. We have the 0 to 1 book here, right? Peter Thiel also says competition just for the sake of it doesn't create value, especially in the.
You're talking about zero sum game versus positive sum
Correct,
game, right?
correct. But okay, this protocol is there. This is in mobility. Are we like a fourth player? If we were just another fourth player, we wouldn't have even started this. Okay, JustPay had opportunity to be a wallet, to be an aggregator, all of that. We chose not to be any of that. JustPay is more like an orchestrator on top of all of the gateways, merchant side, right? So, yeah, we're not a big fan of just compete, throw money at a problem and scale, etc. Right? So we wanted to deeply understand the problem. Is there a real problem? Otherwise, if there is none, we would have chosen not to even get into this.
Right.
Okay. And one problem we saw is this whole is tech an enabler for them, or is it an intermediary? Is the right amount of value attributed to right amount of work done?
Okay.
The software is maybe connecting customers to drivers, but still a utility. It's not like software can do so much. In this case, it's still not a autonomous car, self-driving. It's still not doing all of that. It's only connecting you to somebody. Right? For that, I think the ground reality and the feelings among drivers are also that this kind of a percentage of commission, like 30% you mentioned, 25, 30, sometimes even goes higher, is all unreasonable, unfair, right?
That is debatable for sure.
Sure.
Not everybody will agree.
Maybe, I mean, sure, but that's the sense that we got from drivers. Otherwise, initially our objective was to kind of get into payments and transport, because transport anyway has mobility has so many transactions happening in a day, right? Digitization of public transport and this and payments could be an opportunity, is something that we thought of, right? And while being a payment company, not having payments was because of this deep insight that it has to be direct, it has to be fully transparent,
right.
And tech has to be an enabler and not a intermediary, because intermediary means you take money and you're like a middleman controlling whatever you're controlling, right? If it is direct, then it becomes a clear enabler. And this participative development we promoted. We had drivers come into our office. We try to understand them. One is we driving, but the other is getting a lot of inputs from drivers, right? I mean, the reason why, I don't know, many others also moved to this model is because this is more sustainable. This is something that will work. Because despite a decade of investment, several billions of dollars that you said, I don't think it was a solved problem. Okay. People had their own issues. Okay. It's not like you can live without a personal transport. Right? I mean, okay. Whenever you want it, there would be
personal. But like if that is what you're saying, that we cannot live without a personal.
It was
transport.
like that, right? A little bit.
But now also, like, to be very honest, I don't think like it is yet a solved problem. Then
100% not solved. Maybe we need to embrace public transport. We need to do multi-modal, etc. Right? But at least the level of cancellations that are happening is relatively lesser. Okay. Especially when Namma Yatri was introduced, you couldn't get rides in other apps, and Namma Yatri will always get. That was one of the reasons why the initial growth also.
That is the reason my friend suggested me to download Namma Yatri whenever
Sure, because it's going to driver feels that, hey, I'm getting money for whatever I'm working, and they do a good service, right? And you were especially talking about
some of the things that you think that having a lot of money would have helped, and some things that
correct. So it's not always about money, right? So we believe more in people power than money power.
Yeah, but money power is required to get people power as well.
Sure, to an extent. That's why government business society. That's why we're still a venture funded company. We are not.
Google is one of your investors.
Yeah, correct.
The last round.
Correct, but right trade-offs, right? You don't just like that take a lot of money, just spend money on marketing and offers and grow, and then suddenly fall down and all that. Do more fundamental innovations, right? We believe more in word of mouth marketing, investing in innovations. One is cost optimization, then giving it to, even this ownership is very open, right? The model in which this is growing itself is more community, government, different kind of partnership model. In fact, the OSS Capital founder, OSS Capital founder tweeted recently, and it has kind of gone viral right now. And people from different parts of the world are asking, "Hey, can we run this in Sri Lanka? Can we run this in Argentina and US, etc." Right? So we're open to making this managed service, and people can run it in different parts of the world in their own brand, their own names, right? And this technology has to be like Linux for mobility is what we keep calling. Linux runs everywhere. Your Android phone runs Linux, etc. Right? And and Red Hat was, I think IBM acquired $35 billion or something like that. You can be an open source software, add a lot of value, create innovation.
Or a better example that people will probably relate to could be Android, right? Like
Android is there
all different brands of mobile phones. And,
Correct, and it is open source.
Right. That is why I took that example.
There is this very popular term called software is eating the world, right?
Is it so?
Oh yeah.
I've never heard of it.
You've not heard of it? Yeah. I mean, everywhere there is software. Software is used in your. I mean, if you just look around in this place, there's so much software, right? The OSS Capital, their philosophy is open source is eating software faster than software is eating the world. In a way, so much value gets added because of open source also. So there is people power there, and drivers themselves promoting, etc. There is people power there also, and systems like government being a part of it and enabling public transport. There is people power. So there
like also, people organically trying to be a part of it or wanting to be a part of it is what you are focusing on more, and rather than spending money on these.
Alternate would be just throw money at it, give referral bonuses, this, give that.
That used to happen when some of these kind of companies launched their apps in the start. So a lot of discounts, referral bonuses.
In a way, that has also become like a habit for a lot of people. But we are happy that Bangalore, without discounts, incentives, took Namma Yatri to where it is.
Yeah, because like the other players have matured to this extent that they also don't have discounts.
Sure, right? I mean they do have right now.
They do have.
Despite that, I think people do appreciate that some fundamental work is happening.
Right.
They're happy that driver is also happy. We don't do much marketing on it, but they kind of a lot of people whom I've seen, whom they've interacted, they get validation through drivers only. Hey, I talk to drivers are happy, so I start using Namma Yatri.
Got it. So we were talking about drivers, and I think you mentioned this earlier also. So let's maybe double click on this.
Sure.
That you took over 300 trips as an auto driver. Maybe if we can talk a little bit about that. There probably, I'm pretty sure that there will be some insightful things that you must have seen which may be interesting for people to know taking these 300 plus rides. First, like did you folks buy your own autos? And
good thing is in Bangalore, as long as you have a LMV license, you don't need any specific license for an auto driver. Right. You just need a khaki shirt and Namma Yatri app, and you can.
That's a good line. Khaki shirt and a Namma Yatri app,
and you can ride auto. Definitely. I mean, this primarily was to be empathetic, to build for the drivers. We need to understand what it is to be a driver, right? And then it was not that straightforward to earn 2,000. Simple things like this pricing. Pricing is only distance based. But in Bangalore, actually, distance didn't matter. Right. Time mattered. But the pricing that gets fixed by government has a very small time factor for waiting time.
There is a regulation from the government that.
Correct. There is a guideline saying this is the price.
Okay.
Right. And in fact, in Karnataka, you're not supposed to go beyond 10% of the prescribed price, which is 15 rupees per kilometer for auto.
Okay.
But not everybody follows it to the T, etc. This is a constant challenge. Like the whole pricing, drivers say, they're happy as long as it doesn't go below a certain extent. Customers are happy as long as it doesn't go
above
beyond certain extent. And they want a range to be fixed though, because if it goes too much beyond certain amount and too much lower, both parties get affected, right? We at least we try to give that flexibility both to customers and drivers. They can add some addition, customer can add some addition and all. But the key insight that I got is, this Bellandur, when I was driving, it almost took half an hour to go pick up, but the customer was also waiting. He called me up and said, see, it's difficult for me to get another auto and all. I'll even pay you 50 rupees more. Why don't you come? Right? And there's so much traffic, and I had to go and pick him up. And then there is more empathy to how this price itself has to be. Right, and that's one of the reasons why we allowed that flexibility to both customers and drivers. Drivers is they're asked initially itself, they wanted some additional
by giving an option to tip, right?
No, this is driver can add. Typically in Namma Yatri, you'll see the price as a range.
Okay,
it could be 40 to 50 or 50 to 70, etc., depending on the time, right?
Okay.
So the drivers, if they feel that the traffic is more, or if they feel that the return trip is not going to be there, they have to wait there for very long, etc., they also add this. As an option, customers can also choose between multiple drivers.
Okay.
Initially, we had like 10 drivers you can choose from, etc. That didn't go well with drivers. Then we had to limit. Now you can choose between 2 drivers.
Okay.
If you're lucky, you will have one add more, one not add, and you can choose one of those.
When
drivers.
you say add more, you mean that let's say you have a range. Okay, let's say you have 40 to 60 rupees.
So you will get 150 rupees driver, 140 rupee driver.
Okay, but the amount that they have to kind of enter, the drivers has to be between that range.
Right. So it's always that bounded flexibility. It's not unbounded, 2x, 3x kind of.
When accepting the ride, then driver have an option to change the default price that Namma Yatri would have given them.
Correct. Similarly, customers also can add. It's a customer additional. I don't know, for some reason it is called tip and it is remained that way. But yeah, customer can add some additional, because an alternate for you at that time is you have to go out and street hail, which becomes super expensive, etc. Right? So that is one of the insights. And non-peak time, there is less traffic, but you don't get rides. Peak time, you get back-to-back rides, but you're just not able to make money. We have these 3 things for drivers. We always say as 3 values: efficiency, empathy, enjoying the journey. When I'm in the efficiency mode, I used to calculate, hey, in 1 minute how much distance I travel, will I be able to make 2000 because I did this? Hey, there's so much traffic. It used to be not so enjoyable. It used to be frustrating, irritating because of the traffic, etc.
When you said 2000, you mean you had set this target for yourself to?
A lot of drivers have that as a target. So
for 200 rupees, 2000 daily.
Correct. Okay. My first full day was 1,818, something like that.
Bad.
No, I had to start at I think 7 o'clock and at 10:30. Yeah, something like 10:30.
That's I think 15 hours.
Yeah. In the middle, there was a lot of dead kilometers, a dead time, non-peak. The curve is typically an M curve.
Okay.
There is a peak in the morning, peak in the evening. In the afternoon,
it's very down, and then it keeps going down in the night.
Yeah, it keeps going super down in the
from
night.
Evening to night. Yeah.
Correct. So simple things like, when somebody cancels, they wanted voice. All that I was able to kind of experientially get.
I did not get this point. When somebody wanted voice,
say a driver is going to pick you up,
right?
You're already halfway,
right?
And the customer cancels.
Okay.
The announcement needs to be in voice so that it is very clear for the driver that the customer is cancelled, and they don't have to go till the pickup point and realize that the customer is already cancelled. Right? Maybe it's already there in few other apps, but they were asking things like this. If I was not driving, or some of my team members are not doing this, we wouldn't have been that empathetic about a small thing like this actually matters. Right? And a bunch of drivers want more voice-based. A lot of drivers use WhatsApp, Telegram groups to get rides, and such things exist. In fact, they find it more convenient there than even these apps with UI, UX and all, because some of them don't read. And they figure out a location based on a pin code. sometimes because of some reason if the PIN code doesn't come, they don't
Correctly.
know where
Yeah.
it doesn't come correctly, or doesn't even
Okay.
appear. They don't know where to go, etc. So we're trying to introduce more and more voice. For instance, in a AC cab, if you enter, there is a voice announcement to the driver saying, "Hey, switch on the AC, give good service," etc. Right?
Okay.
If it's a rental ride, I think it will announce that it is a rental ride.
Okay.
We are kind of seeing directionally it can become more and more voice-based, local language voice-based.
So when you are saying voice-based things you are adding, you
Yeah.
you have added for the driver, are they right now in English or are they in Kannada?
Local language.
Okay, so in
Yeah.
Kannada,
Yeah,
you would say,
correct.
all right. So for Bangalore, it is actually one of the features which is live from the start, that
Yeah.
the key things that have to be communicated will be said in Kannada to the driver.
Correct. Some static we're sharing, and I mean directionally we're adding more and more.
Right. The static ones that you
correct.
are using. Got it. And this exercise of driving 300, kind of more than 300, was done when the Namma Yatri apps
This is in
MVP
the
had just
initial stage, from November to say January, February.
November 2022 to January,
Yeah.
February 2022.
After that also it's like meditation sometimes. When I don't know what has to be done, etc. Sometimes I've taken the auto
Okay.
and driven,
Just to clear up your mind.
Yeah. So I did talk about efficiency,
Yeah.
empathy, enjoying the journey.
Right.
I was able to move to the next levels, like being empathetic. A lot of touchy moments and all happened during this journey.
Okay.
There was one college student who forced 100 rupees on me because she was stuck in a traffic.
Okay.
And for about half an hour. And I went and dropped her. She was like, "No, you waited so long." And I was like, "No, it's okay. You can just pay the fair amount and all, right?" So I see that there is so much trust that is already there between customers, drivers. Maybe there are here and there some drivers who are not safe, etc. Which creates an overall image. Whatever you think when you think of an auto driver could be something, but we were even wondering, can you create that cultural shift, right? Like
if that cultural shift actually happens, then that will actually be very great. But right now I think you would also agree that there is a small subset of drivers which probably
that's the whole point. Now we're saying, hey, we're customers come to you directly now. It's your job to give great customer service, right? And many of them are already doing that. And in fact, some drivers create content for the benefit of others. Today I took a driver who had 0% cancellation.
Okay.
His cab was super clean, and the way he's maintaining is very good. And we're trying to promote as much as peer-to-peer feedback, and now you can favorite a driver. Which means the next time the driver is around, you'll get that driver.
It's already live.
It's already live, and we are looking at building more on top of that. Like you can reserve through a favorite driver.
Meaning?
Say you want to go to the airport, you're not looking at any driver, you want it super reliable, etc. You know that you've favorited 3-4 drivers.
You mean reserve in advance?
Yeah, you can schedule a ride for that particular
driver.
Driver.
And of course, given that they also accept the
correct. You can through technology you can ensure that the person comes closer to your place because they use this feature called Go Home. Right? They keep getting rides closer to their home. They use it like twice a day, thrice a day. So whatever rides go towards in the area of their home, even if it is not single, even if it is multiple, directionally if it goes towards, they keep getting those rides. Right? Say you have scheduled like this, we can automatically have a go to your place, so that they're also not wasting so much money and time to reach your place if they're somewhere else. Right? These can be solved through tech, but you favoriting a driver, you booking a driver, because in a tier 2, tier 3 town, this is the normal behavior. You have a list of phone numbers of drivers, you call them, they're around for you. Say if there is a wedding happening, they're there throughout. For which we have also introduced, say, rental. There is repeat rental. Some folks actually, we also run this Women EV initiative where some right now 150 women actually drive auto, and instead of buying a car, instead of buying a car and hiring a driver and hiring him full time, etc. Right? More like a prototypes. Some of our, in fact, Sheetal, who's a co-founder of JustPay, he has one of the women driver for picking up and dropping his kids. And for 2-3 hours, he pays something for the driver for 2-3 hours rental, and daily. And he finds this much better. And also it's a win-win for everybody. The driver also gets for that 3 hours more reliable earning for the entire month.
Correct.
Right. And we are looking at promoting more such things more and more in the app. Some of them is already there, like favorite you can already do, but scheduling of the favorite is not there. We're also thinking you can do a repeat with the driver. So every day you're going home office, and this person is also pretty close by, and your time is also not too variable, right? You can go with the same person. If you like that person, if you
repeat reserve is already there.
Not there
yet, but something you're working on.
Correct. These are things that we're working on because we are not too worried about this driver will take you out of Namma Yatri and they'll do direct. The app itself is supposed to be direct, right? Enable direct. There are value add with the app also because tracking is there, map navigation is helpful, and what they're paying is also very small.
Like you're saying, you discussed that with the drivers actually to make sure that the unhappiness is not there in them.
Correct. Yeah. So this culture shift. Like we were wondering how are Dabbawala able to provide such a good service, right? Like maybe they had spirituality or something as their the premise of giving such a great service. It's a case study.
The startup
Mumbai Dabbawala. Yeah, it's a case study in I think for Six Sigma or something. It is a case study. The errors is super low. I think it goes from one person to multiple Dabbawalas take your Dabba from home to office. They're always on time. It never gets mixed up. So they figured out some methodology, and they also do that with so much care. It's not just efficiency. I think there's empathy to it, and they're also enjoying the journey.
Right? 3 things that you mentioned.
Yeah, 3 things that I mentioned. Here for auto drivers, also a bunch of them they're already like that. We want to enable more such folks, and probably whoever is creating problems right now, who don't consider this as important, etc. We're trying to create this feedback mechanism as transparent as possible. If somebody keeps cancelling a lot of rides, there is a warning, training, soft block kind of a framework, which is also transparently shown to the driver. They know that hey, if they keep cancelling, maybe then.
So now it is something which
is all live,
which has been added.
Later
on, right? Because earlier it would have been.
Correct. Yeah. And this they take a pledge saying Namma Yatri super safety, Sakkat service Namma duty. Sakkat is more a Kannada, right? Like a super service. Right? In front of police commissioner, and once the safety features were launched by Bengaluru city police commissioner and joint commissioner, both of them were there. They took this pledge, and in the driver profile we also ask what pledge you want to take. They say, hey, I want to be a safe driver. I want to be a driver who gives great service, etc. And we also show this profile to the customers. So that you understand why they're driving for. Some say I'm driving because I want to buy a own vehicle right now. I'm renting. I'm driving mainly for my kids' education, etc. Right? So there is a lot of this.
So
people.
The empathy part on part of the passengers. Right?
Correct. See, ultimately, one company can't take care of all of this. I think if customers are taken care very well by drivers, customers only will pay them more, right? And what is there in abundance for driver is to give great service. This is a journey, but I think the shifts are already happening. Already many people say that though it's the same driver across platform, right? They say in Namma Yatri service is good. They also say it's the same driver only, but maybe because of this whole direct to driver and for 300, 400 they can earn extra because they're not paying any commission.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it somewhere 400 rupees per day.
Yeah.
Auto drivers
Yeah.
are probably earning approximately more, and 1,000 rupees per day cab drivers, right?
Potentially they can,
potentially.
right? Because if you consider a 20 to 30% commission, auto driver who is earning 2,000 rupees is like 400.
Yeah. Got it. According to the target that you mentioned. Got it. So yeah, actually we were on this, like what we were talking about was those 300 plus trips that you took, and from there we kind of went on to this subject. The question that I had related to that probably is that, like, were there any bad experiences from passengers? We hear a lot about bad experience that passengers have with auto drivers. You were in the shoes of auto drivers.
Yeah.
let's flip it today. What were some of the patterns, or and 300 is a big number to have a data set, right? Anything that you saw ki not only auto drivers cancel, the passengers also cancel quite a bit, like anything that you would want to share?
In fact a lot of these product features, like say safety, has to be there for both. Once there was a person who called up and said, hey, we are 6 people, I'll pay you slightly extra, can you? No, I'm allowed to take only 3 people. No, it's okay, come, we'll go, and all of that, right? Such kind of things. And there are even scams happening. I got a call once and said that, hey, they booked the auto, and this person calls up and says, pay some $1,000 to this person in the hospital. I'll give you the number. She's stuck at the hospital. If you pay, that person can come out of the hospital, and I'll give you just
book the auto, and then when you arrive,
try to do some social engineering fraud. Right? This keeps happening a lot. In fact, some of the drivers have lost money like this. Right? Yeah, and we try to create more awareness that you don't fall for this, etc. Right? Yeah, there were such experiences. Good, bad, all of that.
All right.
In fact, certain areas, so much traffic is there. As an auto driver who is used to different parts of Bangalore, they already know. They don't just like that accept. Sometimes I've accepted, and I try to go there. I'll call up and say, hey, please wait, don't cancel, I'm coming over, etc. Right? But some of the customers book in multiple apps and they don't care. I'm taking all the pain to go through the traffic and reach that location, despite saying that please wait, and they also agreeing to wait. It gets cancelled after 80% of the,
I think it's a two-way thing.
It's a two-way thing.
Passengers will have their own pinpoint. The drivers also do that. That we call that, we'll be waiting, please come, and then they'll say that they'll come, but then they cancel.
Correct. But what the insight is, typically everybody is aware of what a customer goes through.
Right.
That is the driver also goes through all of these problems.
That is why I asked this question.
The driver definitely goes through all of these problems. Right. This cancelling. If you cancel much later, the driver almost comes to your place. None of that is paid for right now, at least in the current structure. And it is so frustrating. If you don't want it, you can as well say much early, right? Like, before I move, if you cancel it, is fine. Similarly with customers also. They say that, I'll definitely come, etc. But then some drivers cancel.
Right.
They can't say no.
Right.
For whatever reason.
Maybe there can be some tech built around this as well in the future. Because this is a big problem, right? Maybe for
reliability.
There has to be some penalty to the customer whenever, first there has to be tech which very accurately can kind of predict whether the cancellation was done on, who was the culprit in this particular situation, and then kind of have some penalty on.
There are insights, like simple things, like say sometimes when you have to do a U-turn, say you walk 100 meters, you would have saved so much time when compared to the driver coming over U-turn, maybe that is 1 kilometer back to you. Right?
And then maybe if you have to go in that direction only, then you'll again take a U-turn and then go back.
Correct. There we can say, hey, walk to the auto. Not yet built, but the smaller insights like this, right?
Basically give them an option that if you walk till there, you will save this much time and money less.
Say walking is Yeah, money also, time also.
Yeah.
Walking is just 1 minute, but this person has to come all the way is 10 minutes. You'll probably choose that 1 minute, right? Simple interventions like this can be done, and this general framework of warn, train, have soft lesser penalty, and then even block, etc., can be applied both sides. Driver side it is there. They also go through some video small trainings. They take a quiz, more like a metro yes or no kind of a quiz. Similar thing, more visibility can be given to customers also.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So you are saying driver side penalty is already there for cancellations?
Not as money, but as deprioritization.
Okay. Yeah, but for like money wise, at least what my understanding was, like it is there for customers. I'm not sure about Namma Yatri, but in general that is there, right? That if you cancel after a certain point, then 30-40 rupees fee is charged.
Yeah, because this is direct to driver, right? This is a little bit of a challenge. Like you don't even meet the driver. Whom will you pay the cancellation charge?
Because you are not taking any
we're not collecting any money from customers, so that was a little bit of a challenge. This has been a topic of discussion for quite some time. But we're trying to solve through other means, not just with the charge. Even a charge, just because there is a charge doesn't mean that you're very careful about it. Right? Even then, the cancellations are.
But yeah, like it's about decreasing the percentage, right? It will definitely contribute to that. Maybe you're trying to find something which will even contribute more than this thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Like more visibility and the training and deprioritization. We when we have a pool of drivers, some have very low cancellation percentage, some have very high. The low cancellation person gets it first, at least, right? And if they all don't accept, only it goes to this person. Okay. And all of this information is given upfront to the driver so that they don't go beyond the threshold.
Okay.
Right. See, they can make the judgment by looking at the right request alone. They don't. A lot of times it's just ignorance.
But is the information that they get?
Everything.
That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah, like they get a from and to and a distance and pickup distance and all of that.
ETA, like time.
Yeah. In fact, Namma Yatri, I think, was the first one to show everything because of our spirit of transparency.
Right. That is, I think, in favor. Of course, I am a very newbie here, but I would think that it is in the favor of the platform also to show everything. It will have a better experience for the customer as well as the driver.
In fact, now I think many other apps also show everything. Like there is full transparency now. Initially, I think people didn't even know where they're going.
Yeah, people would call, like driver would call the person where, and then they'll cancel. Okay. So everything is being shown.
Yeah.
Alright, but yeah, then there was this other thing also which I have seen in other platforms at least. If you pay online early on, and then they would ask.
These things just don't exist, right? In Namma Yatri.
Yeah, cancel. But here it is very transparent, either cash or UPI, which they'll probably be okay with.
Yeah.
But, all right.
That's the very reason we're also okay with improving stickiness. A lot of them don't want stickiness. Stickiness meaning same driver, same customer. Here, they're anyway sticky to the platform. Meaning, because of the value add that that Namma Yatri adds and very small subscription that they pay, they're fine using it and not getting away from it. Right? And we can promote more and more such same customer, same driver, whoever you trust.
I understand.
We also show the number of people who are favorited. So there are some drivers who have been favorited by 30 plus, 40 plus, etc. And most of them, like so many favorites and very good ratings, etc., are typically pretty good. Yeah.
I understand. You're basically saying that these things, like things like adding a favorite driver or reserving a ride for daily ride with a kind of a favorite driver that you are working on are some of the things that you have the liberty to do because drivers love the platform and are not just there because they don't have another option.
Correct.
Which was probably the case before Namma Yatri with other kind of. Yeah. All right. But yeah, now maybe they can also do that because they're also at zero.
If we are changing the system for good, it's good.
Yeah. I think it must be enjoying the journey wala feeling that it would be a happy feeling to make so many drivers at least happy. Like you are like the Geo of mobility.
Yeah. Even when I was driving, I moved to that enjoying the journey, listening to podcasts, listening to songs.
While driving.
Yeah, because only being in that efficiency mode was not such a great experience.
Right.
Yeah, you keep cribbing about traffic, but you can't solve that immediately, right? You need to work on it. Broader things have to be done. So And we felt more drivers can just enjoy the journey and give great customer service.
And then you probably would have talked to customers also a lot, right? And who came to understand some of their kind of things as well, because of course, if there is a driver app, there is a consumer app as well, right?
Yeah. That we use every day, right? Like as a driver,
is what
I thought I'll do 1,000, but it is still 300 only. But at least as a customer, I would have done several more than 1,000. So every day, multiple times. Yeah.
So like, do you have your own personal vehicle or you use Namma Yatri?
It's mostly parked right now.
Okay, it is there, but mostly.
Since 2022.
I think you came here also on Namma Yatri. I offered to pick, but you were like. Alright. So yeah, I think while we were on the subject of that cultural shift, right? I think we both agreed on this, and I think most of Bengaluru would agree on this, that there is this concern which is definitely there to some extent, if not a lot, that the behavior of a few drivers and the safety part and the reliability part that they'll come and pick it up is missing to some extent.
Yeah.
If 80% of the, let's say, rides somebody is having are good, but the one that they'll remember is the 20% mostly, right?
Yeah.
So I think a couple of days back only I was having this conversation with my friends when I was kind of researching that, what have your experiences been. There were these things that were mentioned in this way, that they downloaded Namma Yatri because of this thing that you get a driver fast, but then there seemed to be this opinion that because there is, like, the service is not controlled by the platform, they think that they have free sway to behave whatever they want. Like, have you had this feedback? If not, like, if you had, like, please comment on that.
Yeah. I mean, that control, how much control can you actually have, right? That's in fact not true. We think it is more a collective effort than a single platform controlling an algorithm controlling, etc. Right?
Okay.
And safety is super important to Namma Yatri. I wouldn't say it's 100% solved, but we've been super committed to have all sorts of features that other apps have and more, right? And all the feedback that say customers give is taken very seriously. If some driver is rated as unsafe in the feedback pill, or whenever they're reported that way, right? Beyond a number, they're not in the platform. Not just this, we have in fact built a common blacklist portal and given it to police as a public good.
Police, okay.
So that this information is not just available to Namma Yatri, but also to all the platforms.
Okay.
Because the maximum someone does right now is block in one.
All right.
But it just goes to the other one, right? The same vehicle, same person. So the common blacklist portal enables everybody to consume this information and also block from all. So consequences is severe.
So we
have a training.
You're trying in a way that you make the consequences more severe for them.
Yeah, actually consequences can be severe. We have police. In a video telling out to all the drivers saying, your license can be barred.
Okay.
Right? You can never drive again.
Okay.
You can be put in jail and all of that, right? There are several such levels of consequences. And being aware of such consequences, things like Dashcam, etc. We are very early stage, but we are still trying to. We did a survey. Customers said, "Yeah, we'll be happy." It's probably about the cost of Dashcam, how will this be controlled, etc. We're working with some players to even add that, so that somebody is always watching them, and and as a customer you can choose to go in an auto which has a dash cam at some
then
point.
Maybe it could be a separate category, right? Like
Correct.
that whoever
Yeah,
is
either
willing to
the
pay that premium for the
safety
dash
plus
cam.
or whatever, or you can choose that, hey, I want this vehicle with a dash cam, etc. So bunch of such things we do, and
that is a very good idea. Like it seems to me. Of course, there are a bunch of challenges that of course you have to solve. That it should not be that the dash cam is not just there and the driver can turn it off or turn it on whenever they want.
No, we'll get to know that dash cam is on, off, etc. And in all of these, say if multiple complaints and tolls are there, we first stop giving rides which has tolls.
Sorry, I don't understand.
If multiple complaints on toll,
complaints,
a lot of times what happens is, See, the toll amount is included
In the fare.
in the fare, and
Alright.
that is shown to the customer, shown to the driver
Right.
multiple times.
Right.
But some drivers say, no, it's not.
Okay. Got it.
You need to pay me extra,
Okay.
right? And then the customer complains.
Especially for airport, right? Yeah.
Correct. And the customer complains, and toll exists in other nice road and other
Okay.
parts of the road,
Okay.
the city also. Customer complains once, twice. We give a warning to the driver. Next, that particular toll rides alone will not be given to the driver.
Okay.
The other rides he gets,
Okay.
but toll rides. Likewise, AC complaints keep coming. You choose a AC specifically.
Right.
But
Because
then
I think there is an option now, non-AC
Correct.
cab and AC cab.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we were the first one to introduce such option, right? And you keep getting AC complaints, then the driver won't get a AC ride going forward. And this information is given very transparently to the driver
Beforehand. That
Beforehand.
If you do this, these are the thresholds, these many penalties, these many complaints, that means that.
Correct. And so it is important for a customer to give feedback, more peer-to-peer, right? Here, rather than assuming that one central platform can control and ensure everything, ultimately it is a driver who has to ensure, right? And if you share this feedback directly, and if you have these mechanisms which will have penalties automatically, which can be both ways also. Right? Sometimes some customers just book cancel kind of stuff. With more and more transparency and the right feedback itself, I think we can have mechanisms in which service can be better.
I think then Magz, that one thing that comes in mind is that how easy has the app made this thing to give the feedback? Is it like right now, like how does one give feedback?
End of the ride, one can
Right.
choose a pill, etc. There is a star rating. There is also a bunch of pills that come up. You can say
tags or pills.
Tags or pills. There is open feedback. But in addition to that, there are these pills.
On the basis of the pills that are selected, you put that feedback in a certain category or maybe a bunch of categories, and then the count of that particular.
Correct. These are more direct. If it's more open, etc., we still have to process it. And then
so that mechanism is also
that is also there. But that sometimes takes slightly more time. This one is instant. If you keep saying, ask for extra fare, etc., or toll issues. Some of these are even appearing as a pop-up during the ride. The AC was switched on or not. Toll. This is not just the end of the ride. Even during the ride, you get this feedback. And you can report an issue that will be considered for curating the drivers.
Got it.
And it's all peer-to-peer, right?
And
And we work very closely with Polis. Polis verifies all of these drivers.
Right.
The background check is done.
Right.
And whoever we see that the background check is not passing, we remove them. And not just remove, add them to the common blacklist portal.
Common blacklist. All right.
So I think we have to take a slightly holistic view, and everybody should participate in solving some of these issues.
I understand. Now after talking to you, if any of my friends come to me and tell me, now I'll definitely tell them that you do this. They have the system in place.
Correct.
Rather than just telling it to me, that is a better thing.
It's not like one control can fix this also. That's the point, right? Control alone was able to fix it. It doesn't look like that.
I mean, I don't know. Like BlueSmart is doing a pretty good job at that, but maybe it's a different model. I'm not saying only that model is something that has to exist.
How scalable it is, etc. There are questions about that, right? Like how happy BlueSmart drivers are.
That is definitely a question. All right. So talking about drivers, let me also talk about this particular thing. Last year, around the same time, I think December mid only, there was this thing which floated around that, kind of a breakup between Namma Yatri and the Autorickshaw Drivers Union. The narrative was that, there was an official statement from the kind of union that they supported ideation, pilot phase testing, launching the app, building early momentum. They disappointingly have no specific role in its future management. Then there was this one more thing that they wanted a 40 rupees flat fare within. I don't know if this one is true or not. This was just in social media. 40 rupees flat fare under 2 kilometers. Certain of these things happened. And then, what was that? Do you want to comment something on that, or would you refrain from?
I don't know. See, sometimes news becomes viral, but maybe it's not the truth. All the truth doesn't come out. It has a catchy title, etc. It can become viral. Right? We were talking to those folks. It's not like we weren't. See, our stance was we're not, specific to one union, or we said we're agnostic. That also was misunderstood. We said if we open to everybody, everybody is drivers. What we saw over the period is there are so many other people contributing. And
in the start, maybe that union was contributing, but
correct.
Going forward, many
are
contributions,
contributing, right? And it is unfair to give. See, this whole thing was created for all the drivers. Like how communism starts with everybody is equal, then first among equal. The expectations were like that, I want to be first among equal. There's this book called Animal Farm, which kind of is a mockery and how this can happen, right? I think the expectation was slightly like that to be treated special, but we thought all drivers equal. Whoever in fact is driving more, whoever is adding more value
to the
correct. And in fact, we're open to ideas like cooperative running this app, a driver cooperative running this app.
Okay.
And there also we're, in fact, we would favor a driver cooperative which is open to all than a union running this app. Yeah, I mean,
what is the difference between what you are saying and a union? Like, what do you mean by a driver cooperative? Like, union is also in a way cooperative, right?
But there's not one single union that exists in the city. There will be already some 10, 20.
Okay.
So that's why when I'm saying cooperative, which is open to all, which is not limited to one union.
Open to everything, open to everyone.
Like Amul was there for farmers.
Okay.
We're saying Amul for drivers can happen.
Okay. And I don't know the Amul story, but maybe something.
So, Amul is a several thousand crore company.
No, but I know Amul, but I don't know the story of them somehow being run by a farmer cooperative. That is what I don't know.
Oh, so yeah, Amul is a fully farmer owned.
Oh, okay.
Amul is a cooperative.
Okay.
Yeah, there are no few founders alone owning Amul, right? Yeah, it is a farmer owned, it is cooperative. They have these district level, they have this every village level, and district level federations, and they all roll up to this, and they get dividends from very professionally run. Maximum value goes to the farmers directly, and not to say processing, to marketing, etc. I think they have some significant limit which they expected to go to the farmers directly, and the rest for the value add it will get charged. And anyway, because it's a cooperative, that will all be used within the system for the development and welfare. Because it's a cooperative doesn't mean that they can't innovate, they can't, then they won't be able to succeed. Survive. So you need to invest on good technology, good marketing. Amul is a good example of doing all of this great. Right?
So in North India, we just like here there are several brands, and I think Amul is not the predominant brand here for a lot of things. But back there in Punjab, Amul is.
Yeah, and we're open to being a tech enabler for a driver cooperative, which is open to all drivers, which is set up with the right, which is more inclusive, set up with the right intent, and all of that. So that openness is always there. I think that news is a slightly overblown, not fully. We work with them even now.
But yeah, like maybe if I am to just in briefly mention the truth from what I could understand, maybe there were some disagreements in a way that they wanted some features, but you did not feel that it is in kind of the spirit of the larger picture is what it was, and then probably this kind of
the news comes out. And
all right, let's get to the kind of next point that I had is when I went to nammayatri.in/open where there is this open dashboard, I could see that the conversion rate of rides right now is approximately 25%.
Overall, you mean?
Yeah, overall, right? Sure. And the target is 50%.
Sure.
Like 25% sounds a little bit less when hearing for the first time, right? 50% is okay, a good target. Like the question is that what are the steps or what are the things that kind of you are doing to kind of achieve that?
Yeah, this has been in a constant rise only. It's not gone down, but yeah, we would have expected it to go to 50% much faster, but it is happening slowly. This is the denominator is everybody who searched, or the number of searches.
Right.
Sometimes you search, by mistake you come out, you do another search,
Right.
but you wait, you don't get it, and then you do another search, etc. All of these is counted as separate.
Okay, got it.
Right? It's not per customer.
It adds on to the denominator.
Correct. It's not per customer, it is every search.
Right.
If every customer does just one search, then this itself would have reduced.
Got it.
Right. And some just explore, especially in a lot of new areas or new cities. They just open, check the price. This also comes in the denominator, which will reduce the percentage. And the final numerator is successful rides.
Rides that happen. Yeah.
Broadly, customer acceptance, driver acceptance, right, and cancellations. These are the three major milestones, you can say. Within each of these, there will be more nuances, but the initial customer acceptance is typically based on the price, right? So people compare.
Okay, I have this question. Sorry to interrupt you. When you say searches, see, there are two things if I'm not wrong, right? One is you mention the pickup location, the drop location, and then you, I think, search, and then it does some processing and the prices come in for different.
Correct. And then you say confirm.
Confirm.
This is what I call as customer acceptance.
The denominator is not the confirm button. Denominator is just performing the search.
Correct.
Oh, okay. So then I think that's okay, because sometimes you just search and
correct. You just explore. You just want to discover the price, etc. Right.
But like, what would be the number from confirm?
That is many times gone to 50%. Sometimes slightly more than 50%.
Right.
It's closer to 50% after you confirm, because drivers are pretty happy.
Right.
The driver acceptance is, sometimes in new cities. In Odisha, we recently launched. There it is 80%. Mysore, for a long time, it was 95%. Okay. Like, there is no ride that you won't get it. Right? Like the drivers are waiting.
Of times, like you'll get it. So yeah, we were talking about 2-3 things. Yeah, please.
The first one is customer acceptance
that we talked about. That watching the price and then clicking on
then you clicking on confirm. The second step is it gets broadcasted to multiple drivers nearby, and at least one driver accepts it.
Okay.
Right. Then the driver acceptance is already there. Then without cancelling, that the ride has to happen. A customer can cancel.
3 steps
driver can cancel.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a step-by-step process. It's not like a simultaneous thing. First, customer acceptance has to happen. Then driver acceptance. Then no cancellation has to happen.
Correct. And to improve each of these broad things we do, and there are also more deep dive on data and some changes in the configuration, etc. So, for instance, should you send to one driver at a time, 10 drivers at a time, 15 drivers at a time, all of these product managers do experiments and figure out it varies per city.
I thought of that actually when you said that according to certain kind of experiences of the ratings of the driver, you said ki first it will go to other drivers, if anybody doesn't accept, then it will go to that driver. I thought, of course, there are trade-offs. Then that means that if that driver was actually going to accept, it will take a lot longer for the customer to get a driver if no one accepts, wherein they could have gotten it earlier if the request should have gone to that driver early on only.
But some optimization on maybe it's slightly delayed, but then the driver will definitely come. There can also be instances where the driver just like that accepts, but then keeps cancelling, right? Then that is also frustrating. So there is a lot of intelligence baked into which all driver it is broadcasted, who should be given the first opportunity, who can be given the next opportunity, etc. Loyal drivers are given more, high-rated drivers are given more opportunity. Favorite drivers, if they're there, they'll be given the first opportunity. All of these factors are considered. And these are ways in which you can improve driver acceptance, right? And customer acceptance typically is more a function of price. Price is a very complex topic. We don't have, because we charge drivers per day based on unlimited rides, right?
Yeah, you don't have an incentive
to increase the price. But then it is kind of become a complex problem. There are apps which says that you can negotiate real time, like you can keep increasing, driver can increase, decrease, etc. That also not everybody doesn't look that scientific, right? And apps which also do 2x charge during peak and 0.5x, it goes during non-peak. That wide range also is not helpful. I think wherever government can intervene, enforce, do a min-max, not like this only, right? And allow some flexibility, bounded flexibility to both customers and drivers. Then I think it will work. And many places have regulations, they don't follow it.
Right now, I think more or less it is working out fine. Like I think
Bangalore,
you must have studied what other players are doing, maybe somehow what government is saying. As a mix and match of all of that, you would have probably come up with an algorithm.
Yeah, we do that, but the ask by both the drivers and customers are regulated a little bit, right? Like, don't allow too much surge, don't allow it to go down too much, etc., which I think is fair for both customers and drivers.
But right now in Namma Yatri, the prices are just distance based, or there is a function of time as well?
No, just this auto especially is just at 15 rupees per kilometer.
Oh, 15 rupees flat.
Yeah. Right. Plus there is a pickup charge because that 15 rupees is only from your home but they might travel 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer, etc. come and pick you up, right? So pickup charge is added, either 10 rupees or 20 rupees.
So pickup charge is flat, that is not dependent on the
that's not dependent on the distance. Plus you also have options for both customers and drivers, and depending on where high traffic, no return pickup, etc., or you don't get rides at all, low
so let's say with this basic formula, the price comes out to be 100 rupees, then you probably do plus minus percentage.
110, 120 types.
So maybe 80 to 120, and then in that range, like you mentioned earlier, the driver has the liberty to decide based on other factors.
Correct.
So, got it. So we were talking about this particular thing, which was kind of conversion rate, right?
So getting this price right itself will sometimes improve the initial, and obviously getting enough drivers on board, etc., right? So that
will improve the.
If no drivers exist there, it doesn't even go to your estimates, which says that hey, this is the price for. So
obviously never happened, by the way, but
Bangalore and all, definitely there are enough number of drivers all the time. So that's the customer acceptance, right? Mostly we see it's a function of some other app runs a lot of discount, etc. They just switch, right?
But can we try to figure out what is the major contributing factor to these 25%? For example, let's say 100 searches happen. Out of this, how many searches are accepted by customer approximately?
You can actually see in the open data itself. I think the customer acceptance rate is about 70%.
Okay, so out of 100, approximately 70 will go to that driver search.
Correct, driver search. And that keeps varying. See, a lot of times it's about also the supply demand matching, or the peak time, non-peak time. Non-peak time it goes as high as 80-85% driver acceptance. Peak time, and everybody is looking for drivers. Obviously there is a supply constraint.
The morning and the evening time.
The number of drivers are less only. It's almost impossible for everybody to get the drivers at that time. In fact, we're thinking of giving that more transparently to the customers so that they can shift also timings a little bit here and there, right? Some amount of congestion time and some price increase, all that drivers will add more during that time. Rather, if you shift it early, slightly later, that is one of the options. Other is, conceptually, if you can share, if you can batch, definitely that can become a win-win for both customers and drivers. Like 3-4 people going in a vehicle and paying more than what individually. It's not just price divided by 4.
Less than what they would,
maybe price divided by 3 or something, and the driver also gets more and customer also gets more. These also have some, it's not absolutely clear in terms of regulation and whether you can do sharing, not do sharing, etc. But at least public transport, we are first looking at enabling that.
Understood. So we were on this particular thing. We discussed, I think, 2 parts of the problem, right? One is the
customer acceptance and then the driver acceptance.
So cancellation, I want to know, if there are 100 rides cancelled in a day, how many are cancelled by customers versus how many are cancelled by drivers?
See, the split is also there in the open data. right now I don't remember exactly the number. In fact,
I'm not asking for the
yeah, I think it is more or less equal.
Okay.
It's like say 30% means 15%. It is like that.
That seems a little bit counterintuitive. Yeah, that sounds a little bit counterintuitive because
in different cities it's slightly different.
From the customer perspective, it might seem we never cancel, the driver always cancels, is what it seems like.
Oh yeah, no, but it's there both sides. In fact, in some cities, customers cancel more than drivers.
So you are saying that driver is definitely not more than 60%.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's surprising.
See, and a lot of times, some driver cancellations are not troublesome to customers because if they immediately cancel, anyway we look for a different driver and you get it.
Correct.
Right, that is all automated. So in fact, if you discount those, in fact, sometimes driver cancellations become even lesser than customer cancellations. Yeah. Simple things like now we're also saying if customer cancels, hey, do you want to find another driver, and immediately you can book instead of going through this whole thing again.
Right.
Yeah, we're releasing a new version of the app, slightly more delightful experience, etc.
New version as in that there will be many different changes, or
yeah, tech wise, yeah, we've
just a small, not just a small update as you are saying.
No, we've moved from pure script to React Native now, more to create more delightful experience. So that should go live soon, say in a week or two. We're rolling it out in different cities. Odisha is already live for iOS first. Yeah, I think it'll go live for Bangalore also soon. And with some of these features that people are expecting are also there.
Look out for the update.
Sure, yeah. There's 3 pillars that we believe that everybody in our company and can excel at. One is tech, the other is design, the third is people.
Okay.
Tech like truth, right? Design like beauty, and people with compassion, empathy, whatever, right? Can you do tech like a scientist? Can you do design like an artist? Can you, I don't know, like a spiritual, like God, can you be good at people, right? Or Satyam Shivam Sundaram, whatever you want to call. So these are like 3 pillars we always anchor around, and can we excel at all of these through work as an opportunity, etc. Something that we do, I do myself. Vimal has been going through these different phases. Initially it is all about tech, right? But then in this world where everything is an app, aesthetics, UI, UX, not just function, form is important, right? Aesthetics is important. How good it is all important. So we try to balance all of these 3, and people, in fact, much more than just pay in Namma Yatri, we are able to directly interact with drivers, have can we be the best at all of these 3? Like Google like tech, Apple like design. Can we do something that we keep telling our folks? Namma Yatri like
Good one. Yeah. Nice approach. So 3 pillars you try to kind of embody, and try that your kind of the team also kind of tries to work with that. Nice. That sounds nice. So yeah, but I was talking about Magz was that everything is going kind of in a enjoyable way for you and the team, is what it seems like. That the question was that what are the few next steps, or something big that you can share, that this is what we are working on. Of course there may be some things that you can't talk about, but whatever you can talk about.
Typically we've been an open company. Data is not just data is open. We're a part of open network. Code, open source code, data is also open, and we believe more in even business model being open, as in collaborative, like say drivers being a part of it, government being a part of it, etc. Right? Being a part of open network. See, the very first moment when we heard about protocol like Beckn, our immediate thing was multi-modal trip stitched journey can just happen. I showed you some experiences also, right? So multimodal or public transport integration is one big bet.
Yeah, but see, when we say multi-modal transportation, it seems like a jargon to many people, including myself, right?
Yeah, sure.
Can you, like, whatever kind of transparent way you can share that, what is the user journey that you imagine for a person? You do this, then the app will show this, then
So if you want to go from a place A to B, it's not always only through auto or a cab.
Let's take an example. From here, I want to go to, let's say, UB City Mall.
Sure. So there are multiple ways you can do that. Right now you're in Indira Nagar, you have to go to UB City Mall. You can basically take an auto from here and go there. Take a cab from here and go there. Take an auto, go to Indira Nagar Metro or Alsur Metro. Take a metro
to maybe MG Road or
maybe MG Road, and from there maybe take an auto or walk.
Correct.
Right. All of these possibilities are there.
Yes. Or if there is a bus that is nearby, maybe
there is a bus which actually goes till
the UB
City
Mall. I'll walk to the nearest bus station and take the bus.
Correct. Yeah. All these possibilities are there.
Right.
Right. A lot of times we don't even.
Or I take my own car. I'm sorry.
Sure. Yeah. A lot of times you don't even know that so many combinations are possible, and even when you know, you don't know about the reliability of such options and the time that such options will take and the cost of such options.
Right.
Right. Metro is not always crowded. Sometimes if you fear that metro will be super crowded, etc. Right. What if your price can be significantly reduced and or slightly reduced, and your time is also almost the same? Why wouldn't you choose a option like that? And if you get full visibility on where that vehicle is, say where the bus is, and this is the time you have to start. See, it's all automated. Like your, the app is doing this work for you to say when to start walking, at what time will the bus come. Even if there is some change, if it says the bus is delayed, do you want to now take an auto and go? All of these can be made possible.
Okay.
Right. So this multi-modal means multiple modes of transport, bus, bringing in metro, bringing in suburban. See, in a big city, if you don't embrace public transport, problems like traffic can't get solved. Right. More and more people have to embrace public transport. Public transport has to become convenient. I'm not saying that it is already super convenient. I think with EV, there'll be more EV buses which will get added up in the city. And some are premium buses, some are with AC, very comfortable, convenient, and all of that, right? So yeah, less time, less cost. If not less time, slightly more time. But significantly less cost. And all information is available to you. You can say work. You can get on a call and just be on an autopilot mode. This app keeps telling you, this is the time you start. The bus comes at this time. You book the auto when you're one station before the last drop.
And the auto is already waiting there.
Yeah, or you set it up already and the auto gets already booked and the auto is waiting there. You just get down. In fact, we're even doing a design with a design agency where we also believe that a tram kind of a vehicle which takes you 100 meters closer to your home is always available, easy to get in, get out, more like a golf cart, but that's not ready for riding on the road, right? Because of low ground clearance, etc. We're thinking of open sourcing that design, and with EV we believe that such kind of vehicles also can be made, right? Yeah, some very seamless transport like this, multiple modes, but all visibility is available to you. That's the dream. In fact, for different parts of the world, this is already...
That could be the future of mobility in India.
Correct. Europe, for instance, has a very good public transport infrastructure. People could just search in Google Maps and, you could switch multiple modes of transport and go. Some countries are super heavy on roads and, cars and not so much in public transport. But a country like India, if it has to be equitable, accessible to everybody, our vision is to move everybody who moves.
Sorry?
The company's name is called Moving Tech Innovations.
Right.
We wanted to name it as Moving Company, but for whatever reasons, it's Moving Tech Innovations.
Right. So you want
we basically move everybody who can move or wants to move, like billions of people.
Right.
Not just physically, but also touch them, through tech. right? So if we have to solve at that scale, we have to embrace public transport. And one next big thing is creating this multi-modal integrated.
This is something that you are probably working on.
Correct. This is in the roadmap. This will happen.
Will this be a separate app or?
No, the same app.
Okay,
in Namma Yatri, you will also see a public transport as an option.
Okay.
You will get multiple options. You'll be able to choose based on your preference,
Right.
like affordable or faster, etc. And then you get the live tracking. Which all of this is involving so many systems. It's not like we discuss now and
the local buses don't have this
live tracking,
tracking, and then
there are different modes in which you can get this.
The ticket is not digital there.
Correct. In one of the city, we are trying to build something called where is my train gives you where exactly the train is. Right. Can we have a where is my bus?
Where is my local
bus? Correct. But train is much larger. So some people crowdsourcing itself can give that information. Here you need it from a driver or a conductor or from the bus, right?
or from tech, right? Like
correct. See, it's not like impossible, but then
just so many things have to come together.
It is
make
complex.
It happen.
Correct.
It's not something we can solve without the kind of involvement of the authorities which run the local bus.
Even if everybody is wanting to do it, getting all the systems in place. That's why open protocol like Beckn or ONDC and all helps, because this all these systems are going to talk that language, right? And then you will be able to consume all that information. And it's not just Namma Yatri. In fact, anybody who is interested in integrating this data will be available to all of them. It's not exclusive.
Right. If they want to build something else on the top of the data of the live tracking of all the public buses, of the kind of metros, the schedule and everything, then they can build on top of this Beckn protocol or ONDC, whatever. I don't know what is the right word to say in this particular case.
ONDC. You can say ONDC. Right? Beckn protocol and ONDC. Beckn is the protocol. ONDC is the organization which is adopted Beckn protocol. So multimodal integrated. This in some cities wherever ticketing is possible, we are also creating a single ticket which will work across multiple modes. So it's a single QR which you can use in a metro. The same QR you can show to the conductor, bus conductor, use it in the metro to get it in, use it in a suburban railway, etc. Right? So wherever that is possible, but where ticketing is not possible, then live tracking has to be there, at least in phases, whatever is available.
Got it.
Maybe in Bengaluru, metro auto could happen, right? To start
if not buses for now.
Because the metro doesn't really need live tracking.
The schedules,
as long as you know the frequency and schedule, it is fine.
Right.
99% I think it sticks to the schedule. So this is one of the big bets. Two, we are looking at it's kind of already open to communities and government partnership, right? And we're looking at scaling that more. Whoever is open to take it.
Two as in like take what? Namma Yatri or this multimodal thing?
No. In a way, certain cities or certain governments would want to do.
So basically, it's an expansion of the app to more cities, more tier 2, tier 3 cities.
In a partnership model, than doing end to end, right? There are certain driver cooperatives who would want to run. Governments who want to run it as a public good, as something that benefits so many drivers and customers in their city, etc. So that partnership model, in fact, that partnership model has potential to go international also. We're open.
You did say, right, that there was this person who tweeted and then it got viral and then you got...
Correct. Like Linux for mobility, we'll build these building blocks.
Android for mobile or Android for mobile phones.
Android, AWS, whatever. So, we can build all of these as building blocks, which can be taken in parts, taken as a whole. All those possibilities are open. So then it becomes a pure tech play, which becomes an enabler. And we also see this sharing. Another is major use case. There's multiple people being able to share because good part of India's transport.
Right.
already seems to be.
I was saying
sharing.
that for sharing, I have this question as well. Sorry to interrupt you in between. That sharing did come as a feature in Uber as Uber Pool. In Ola, I think it would have come. I don't know, but for Uber it did. But after a few years, they disabled it due to some reason.
Yeah, I think there are also some regulatory concerns, safety concerns, etc.
Okay.
But there is already happening in say Delhi Metro and all. They'll already share in a EV auto and.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Yeah, organically in.
Organic, as in like the unorganized.
Yeah,
sector
not in the app, but
Yeah,
it is just happening.
right. Metro may.
Yeah, and I think there are several dimensions or models to it. The examples that you quoted are in one form only. Like it starts from one person, goes and picks up. Sometimes route is deviated.
Correct.
Picks up the other person.
Right. This is what I meant. Yeah.
But already unorganized, but it exists in many cities where it is a fixed pickup. Say Metro to IT Park, Metro to IT Park.
I'll give you an example. Like I'm from Delhi Technological University. It was a very common thing. Like from the Samaypur Badli metro station to DTU Samaypur, DTU Badli.
So fixed pickup, fixed drop.
Yeah, right.
But in en route, they'll stop at any point. Unlike a bus which always stops at the bus stop only, this could stop at any point and picks up how many ever, right? Even these have challenges. Like sometimes you wait in a station for very long because you're not aware of the customers in the next stop or in the journey. Those can be made available, for instance. Right? So then the wait time in a particular stop will become lesser. And sometimes you get in, you don't want to wait that long. You're saying, hey, consider mine as 2 tickets. I'm willing to pay $20 instead of $10.
Understood.
Why don't you just go? Right? See, we've not, we're yet to do a deep dive on this problem, but conceptually, fundamentally, we believe that share, repeat, all of that has to happen to make mobility efficient.
Right.
Because we also see so many home to office kind of a pattern, or work home,
right.
or school home kind of pattern, right? Some of the current systems are just randomly moving people, at least the drivers, to different locations. It need not be that random. If you can make it slightly more systematic and make this a repeat for a bunch of customers. There is also that culture shift happening possibility. There is also this reliability of, hey, this person is going to pay me weekly or monthly
for the drivers.
For the drivers. So drivers get guarantee, customers get reliability.
Reliability that this guy is going to be.
Yeah, sometimes you might get delayed, but you can call them and say, because you already have that trust factor and connectivity.
Personal connect you have.
Correct. Please wait, and they'll also wait and all of that stuff, right? Yeah, these are so 3 things: multi-modal, there is scaling in a partnership model. The third one is solving for some of these fundamental problems like share, repeat, etc.
Got it. Very, very, very interesting. Right? And both of them are very interesting and I think unsolved problems that I don't see anybody else kind of solving it. Right? That is why you are working on this.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that kind of multi-modal model was very interesting. So basically, what you are saying is that let's say from here I say that I have to go to maybe airport, right? So one of the possible options that the app could show me is that you walk to the Indiranagar metro station, which is like a 7 or 8 minutes walk from here, and then you take a metro and maybe go to the Tin Factory station, and then from Tin Factory you take a bus to the airport, and both the tickets are automatically booked for me in that one kind of query only, and then I have to just show that. Like not now, but
whenever it is possible, right?
At some point.
Yeah.
That
certain cities are more in advanced stages. Certain cities are early stage, etc.
And
but
then
end to end, that's a possibility.
And then because of the live tracking that we probably will have someday in the buses, I will be told that like I'll have a full schedule in front of me in my phone.
Say the app also knows that you have to go to the airport at this time.
Right.
If the bus gets delayed, it might say, hey, you're at the risk of missing the flight. Why don't you take a cab from here only? That stuff, right? But yeah, all these are possible through technology.
Right.
Very
interesting. And the second one was the shared mobility. But yeah, like then again you showed me this new perspective of looking at it in a way that we are not just talking about something similar to Uber Pool, which is still a privatized experience that it will come to your home and then it will probably pick somebody up. It could be organizing those unorganized.
Yeah, because such a share already exists. Good percentage is already like that only. But there are some pain points there also. we've heard in certain places, the drivers don't know where the passengers don't know where the drivers are, and both are stuck. Right? It's all about improving utilization for them, improving convenience for customers. Right?
Both of them.
Yeah, with better visibility, you could bridge that gap.
Right. Yeah, I think we have taken more than 2 hours. Discussed a lot of things. Had a lot of fun talking to you. On the ending note, I just ask a couple of kind of khurafati questions. Khurafati is an Hindi word. I don't know if you understand this or not.
What does it mean?
Khurafati means crazy, or maybe out of the blue things that I'll just ask. Like, one question that I have is that, do you have an maybe a idol or somebody that you aspire to be? I don't know, for a lack of a better phrase. Maybe just let me put it this way: somebody that you would want to be an assistant to.
Yeah, I mean, immediately what comes to my mind is, obviously I've been working at JustPay. Vimal is somebody who, a lot of folks get inspired by his values and the way he approaches problems, etc. In fact, right now, I was more like that only for a long time, but now he's kind of asked us to take Namma Yatri, and Yami and Chan are working on. We're very close. He's like, it's not like somebody not close, really close, and
but you would still want to
be. We always like, if you can decode Vimal and scale a company, you could really create a company which is enjoyable throughout the journey, like that efficiency, empathy, enjoying journey. We can have it in the company also as an organization, creating good value, right? Like maximum value through tech, design, and people.
Right. I think that is great, because generally people would choose somebody who they don't have an access to, or they
that becomes difficult, right? But it's just an aspiration.
And then you are like, you've already worked a lot with this guy very closely, right? And you probably still do in some way.
He is involved.
Like you must be meeting them at least once a week, right?
Yeah, the frequency is definitely reduced
from the time when
just pay times. The time, day in, day out, we kind of work. Now it is sometimes once a week, once in 2 weeks, once in a month, etc. But we still try to take his
view on certain ideas.
Together we have some people who actually, all the scientists, artists, people who are super empathetic, all of them are an inspiration. For instance, we used to talk about how Ilayaraja creates music. Right? Like for several years, he wakes up at 4 a.m. and he goes for a training, despite being a master himself. Right? And like he used to learn Hindustani or whatever. Right? And half an hour he creates some everlasting music. Right? People like him, like such an artist, right? Or a good scientist. We believe the kind of value they add, which is timeless, which is so long lasting, are more inspiration. So when I talked about tech design people, can you be like those scientists? Can you be like those artists? Right?
You did say design like an artist.
Yeah, design like an artist. So some of these artists who excel, who are very close by to us, etc., are all inspirations only.
Right. Yeah. Interesting. That's very, very interesting. Let's move to the second question, maybe. Second and the last question that I have for this, podcast, then we'll release you of this. Is that I think we talked about a lot of stuff. I asked you a lot of things. And anything that you may have in your mind that I may have missed, something that you would have asked, or something that you may want to share, even if that's not a question, on an ending note with the audience. If there is nothing that comes to your mind, no pressure, please feel free.
I think a lot of people don't also know that Namma Yatri is open source. Right? This whole the value of this being a Samaj Sahkar Bazaar, or it belongs to people. So it's open source. You can add contribution. You can. So unlike a different kind of a model where you can just be a critic, right? Here you can be a critic. You can also fix it.
Right.
Right. That possibility is there.
Right.
And we are more and more open to such kind of participation, right? We can solve the problem. We don't have to just complain about some problems, etc. Right? But sometimes this might not be very simplistic also. This might need deeper understanding. Some can crib about, hey, why is the price high? Some can also try to understand, hey, why is the price high? What is the thing behind this, etc. Right? So this is, I think, a solution for the community by the community kind of a thing. We are one of the facilitators. We build tech, but this involves transport corporation. This involves drivers. So it's a complex problem, and we invite more and more people to be part of the problem and the solution. Because we open source, people can add code. We are thinking we'll also open source the design, so people can participate in creating new designs, etc.
Which design?
The design of the app.
Design of the app. All right.
Yeah. Code is open source. Now, see, because it's a niche language, maybe not many people are able to contribute, but they are all deep languages also. One can learn that is going to be beneficial for a lot of people. Front end, especially, we're moving to React Native. That also, then more people can actually contribute. Design, when we open source, I think then also more people can contribute.
But let me ask a very practical question. I don't know how it will come across, but when people contribute, then they also sometimes associate that what will be the reward for me for this, right? Like, is there something that is like, is there a system in place that if a PR gets merged from somebody, then there is a reward associated with it for people, or is there not something like that yet?
See, maybe lakhs of people will use your code, will use the improvement.
And then if you actually, make a difference, then you would want to hire them as well, right?
All those possibilities are there. Right now, it has not happened in a big way. Been to this GitHub Constellation, had a talk. There is generally, so much love, and people welcome that it is open source. There is a big FOSS community, COS community, free open source software, commercial open source software kind of communities, right? They all embrace, they want to be a part of it. Yeah, for sure, if you're able to contribute significantly, you can become a consultant, you can become a part-time consultant, if not a full-time consultant, you can become an employee. Yeah, all those possibilities exist. Some folks in open source community do massive contribution, right? Like,
are there part-time consultants that you have?
Right now, we have part-time consultants, full-time consultants.
They probably may have started by contributing somehow the code base, some of them at least.
Yeah, some because this is a niche thing, right? Some folks from JustPay contribute a bit.
Got it.
But then maybe with React Native there will be more. Rust also is in a small part. Maybe Rust community is bigger. I think more popular it becomes that it is open source, and we have not personally invested in community engagement and popularizing it with community. We don't have like a Slack channel where we can interact and all of that, but we're looking at enabling that collaboration more. And once we do that,
maybe a Slack channel or a Discord server or something.
Correct. Though it is open source right now, I think most of the contribution is within the company, right? But it's always possible for after this tweet we are seeing so many folks, and when it becomes globally people can contribute, then I think there will be much more contribution to it.
So I think the crux of what you were trying to say is, like, rather than just cribbing about something, try and be part of the solution.
We can, right? It is possible. So at the same time, we'll take feedback. We're not expecting.
That doesn't mean.
This is not shying away responsibility. We'll take all responsibility for what we're doing. At the same time, there is also a possibility that you can
be part of the solution.
We can be a part of the solution.
It was a very nice time chatting with you, Magz. Thank you so much for all your insightful answers. I had a lot of fun. Thank you for coming.
Thanks. I too had fun. I think it was natural discussion. I hope people also have fun. Thanks.